Good morning. Welcome to Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm Marjorie Rice, and I am your worship associate this morning, and I'm so thankful to be here. I think we all need to give ourselves a round of applause because we're all here. All right. Whoever you are.
Take your mask off.
Oh, okay. I'm so used to it. It's like a piece of me now. Okay. Okay. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are in your life's journey, you are welcome here. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors. We invite you to stop by the greeter's desk in Fellowship Hall for information on Unitarian Universalism and this congregation. It's right through those doors. If you are joining us online, please click on the Get in Touch form using the link below in our video description. We now invite everyone to turn and greet each other with elbows or a fun round of rock, paper, scissors, or say hi just to chat. Good morning, dear. Thank you. Thank you, and it is good to be together. And now Reverend Rose has a few more announcements. Thank you.
Good morning. It has now been almost a full month that we have been hosting our hybrid in-person and online services. So we just want to say that we're so pleased that you're taking the time to spend this 1 hour on Sunday morning with us. We know that you have so many options of things that you could do on Sunday morning, including sleeping in or watching from home in your jammies. So we just want to say thank you for being here and for making this a priority for yourselves and for each other. So each of our moments that we have in the service, we call them liturgical moments, have a meaning, and it was suggested to me that before I do the ringing bowl, I just say a few words about it just to get us into the mood. So we do the ringing bowl because it's just a moment that centers us. We do it because it reminds us to take a breath, relax, and just let go of the hustle and bustle of getting here. Let go of your fear that you won't get home in time for the Chiefs game, and just relax and be here in this moment.
Oh, we're doing missed it. Each month, We as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it here in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme is Embracing Possibility. As I personally reflected on this, I came across this writing about fostering and maintaining strong relationships. Strong and meaningful relationships are essential to our well-being as humans, while also remaining key factors in the success of many businesses. Relationships can give us a strong sense of purpose and even reduce stress, but a good relationship takes work, be it a personal relationship or a business one. Here are ways to manage your relationships and ensure that you are putting your best foot forward. Make one-on-one time a priority. We are all short on time, and there are so many distractions that exist in our world today. Be sure, however, that you are prioritizing time with the people that you care about, and give them your undivided attention. Put time in your day to give someone a phone call, or invite someone to go to lunch with you, or virtually have a lunch. Giving someone your complete attention creates a more positive environment and shows how much you generally care about the relationship. Make an effort to improve your communication skills, along with giving someone your undivided attention. It is imperative that you are able to pick up on both verbal and nonverbal communication. Improving your communication skills can prevent misunderstandings and bring people closer together. So next time you are with someone, pay attention as they speak. Ask open-ended questions. If you are unclear on something, do not jump to conclusions. Ask for more details and get clarification. Focus on positive ideas and commonalities between you and the people you know. Researchers have found that positive and beneficial ideas and behaviors spread more quickly than negative ones. This does not mean to ignore all issues within a relationship, which will be discussed next, but to make sure you make the habit of focusing on positive things, such as something that is commonly enjoyed by both parties or among a group of people. Be sure to address issues as they arise. In all relationships, there are points during which conflict will arise. You do not want to ignore these problems because they will become larger issues further down the road. Considering the other person's point of view is a necessary part of maintaining a strong relationship, and it will allow you to understand them more. Show that you support goals of others, find out what they wish to accomplish, and even offer to help them achieve their goals. Express your appreciation for the relationships that you have in your life. Let the important people in your life know that they are important, and thanking them for being there for you and all that they do. Listen to others and develop empathy for others. Remember the words of Maya Angelou: "They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how they made you feel." Finally, remove toxic relationships from your life. Healthy relationships take effort and energy, but they also give back energy. Those are the relationships that you want to strengthen. Toxic relationships only take away while not giving anything back to you. Maintaining toxic relationships takes all of your energy and time, so that you are unable to focus on healthy ones. Therefore, be sure to cut out any toxic relationships that are no longer benefiting. As I finished reading this, and I read it a few times over, I thought this is absolutely wonderful advice and it can benefit us all, except if you have adult children who know everything there is to know about the entire planet by the time of 24. Then would have to find another reading. But amen, thank you.
Today, we do gather to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be a people of cultivating relationship? I wonder, what does it mean to you? To me, cultivating brings to mind the water, the sea, the cradle from which life has emerged. Cultivation speaks to me of the process, the unfolding, the time, and the care that we put into something. And when I think of relationship, I think of the I and thou, the space between, of the boundaries, the little words that we give to each other to wonder over. I think of the possibilities of co-creating, co-emerging, co-collaborating, sharing the shaping, shaping the sharing, the very relationship becoming what cultivates more relationships. Come, let us worship. Please stay seated for our opening hymn.
Yes, we're still humming together. Our opening hymn today will be number 121, We'll Build a Land. Feel free to hum as loud as you can.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, they then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Last time.
Come, build a land where mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come, build a land, my people we seek. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
As Curtis comes forward to light our chalice, we invite you to join in reading our covenant, which is printed on the cover. Oh, no, it's printed up on the wall. Okay. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another.
We are in a process of discernment around what to do for what has formerly been Time for All Ages and will again. And we have decided to create a moment of wonder for ourselves during the service. So today I'm going to show you a beautiful children's book. This is called We Are Water Protectors by Carol Lindstrom, and it's illustrated by Michaela Goad. Water is the first medicine, Nokomis told me. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body, and it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins, runs through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land, spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink. Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my village's water. I must rally my people together. To stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and with our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones, the four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, and lakes. The earth. We are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face, tracks down my people's faces. Water has its own spirit, Nokomis told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. And now this is the time in our service where we expand the caring love of our congregation, where we draw to heart and mind those in our midst who are suffering and those who feel the sweet relief of their burdens easing. So I'll invite you to put your feet flat on the floor, close your eyes, take a deep breath. I'll have you start by drawing to mind someone in your own life who you know is suffering. We'll bring them into this circle of love and support by just murmuring their name, speaking their name aloud. Today, as we draw to mind our cousins from the indigenous communities and nations, we draw to mind the families and individuals who have been affected by the many years of violence and fear. This last weekend was a day of remembrance for the now 6,000 children who passed away from their families in the mission schools. We extend our gratitude to all the water protectors who have fought pipelines and fought to uphold treaty rights to protect our beautiful earth. And of course, we think of our own earth. We give our love to those untangling themselves from relationships that no longer serve them. We grieve for the loss of energy and time that chronic illness take upon the body and mind. And our hearts go out to all who are struggling to make ends meet. We extend our gratitude to people who make caring for children their primary spiritual practice, and we join in wonder with all who are bravely facing their final days. And as always, we rejoice over the exquisite beauty and abundance, as small or life-changing as each piece of beauty might be. You may open your eyes. I now invite you to come forward and briefly share in 2 to 3 sentences a rare joy or a profound sorrow and light a candle.
Good morning. I am Betsy Edmonds, and I'm here to light a candle of loss. John lost his sister, Carol Louise Howard Cole, this past March, and last weekend we attended her celebration of life in South Carolina. She was a woman of many, many talents, consummate cook and entertainer, but most of all, she was there for John during his life whenever he needed her. So Carol, this candle is for you.
Hi, I'm Diane Myers, and I have 2 candles today. One is for, this is my mother's birthday. She would have been 81 today. And a candle of great joy. My son and his wife had their baby girl September 7th, and I've basically been there the whole time since. And her name is Lynn Charlotte Myers. And she was only 4 pounds, but she was, what's that quote? Though she be small, she is fierce. She definitely is.
I'm just lighting a candle of hope and for love for the children across the world right now who are probably going through many anxieties. And so this is a prayer from me and my best friend who lives in Arkansas. And know that we are thinking of you and thinking of creative ways of just trying to provide for others.
My name is Curtis, and this is a candle of Joy, my kid's mother, who is active duty Air Force and has been stationed in Djibouti, Africa since before Christmas, and has been delayed due to the transport planes being used for the Afghan crisis, refugee crisis. She finally came home yesterday. So I know that's really good for my kids and me to get a break.
Good morning. I'm Jay Hetz, and on October 1st, Stacy and I celebrated 16 years of marriage.
I light the remaining candles for all the joys and sorrows which remain unspoken in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. Now please join me for a moment of silence, followed by spoken word and our meditative hum. Today we offer our deepest hope and prayer that all peoples will be free from the chains of violence, war, ignorance, and broken covenant. We ask for peace and safety for all peoples, freedom from fear, for we and the earth to be allowed to heal, recover, and be peaceful. May the entire human population turn towards protection and reverence of the water and the earth. Blessed be, and amen.
Let's practice singing very quietly now, very quietly. Half hum, half sing.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere.
There's more peace.
There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere.
There's more joy.
There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Makes us remember how much we just really want to stand and sing. I'm excited today because I have a reading that I'm really excited to share with you. It comes from a book called the Popul Vu, which is the Mayan Book of the People. It is the creation myth of those who lived and live in what is now Guatemala and Chiapas, which is southern Mexico. It is a long and engaging epic about how the earth and humans were created, with a rich and complex pantheon of gods, snakes, and great floods, and many characters that draw out some of humanity's deepest questions regarding what we are and how it is that something as wondrous and bizarre and as meaning-making as humans on a luscious earth could have come to be. Indeed, this creation myth has many familiar aspects to it. Let us first briefly look at how the early myths of Genesis open. It says, "The earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the face of the deep, and the wind was hovering over the waters." And this is what the Popul Vu says. "There is not yet one person, one animal, bird, fish, crab, tree, rock, hollow, canyon, meadow, forest. Only the sea alone is pooled under all the sky. There is nothing whatever gathered together. It is at rest. Not a single thing stirs. It is black, kept at rest under the sky. Merely alone the framer, shaper, plumed serpent are in the water, and luminous they are." There is a little boy in our congregation who has been having significant questions arise for him around death. He is 5 or 6, and like so many children, he has absorbed a lot during the last 2 years of the pandemic, and he has had some people close to him pass away or become very sick. So his parents have asked me to make little videos talking to him, which is a delight. Recently, he's asked me, what do people look and act like in the process of passing away? This is a very natural question, you see, for a child to be holding close some of the great questions in life, for a child to be wondering what we are. Here, this child is cultivating his relationship with life itself. And as I pondered his questions, I remembered that oftentimes when people are in the process of dying, they often will experience an insatiable thirst, sucking down cups to the dregs and asking for more water, more water. I have witnessed this multiple times throughout my own time in chaplaincy and with the members of our congregation. And I've always held this thirst with the utmost wonder. What is happening to you that you need all that water? Where are you slipping and sliding to? And it makes me think on a deeper level, what would it mean for us to be a people who cultivate their relationship with water, with the lake sea, with the primordial stillness that is still, without ripples, the cradle from which all of life has emerged? What does it mean for us to cultivate within ourselves the understanding that water is life, to wrap our minds around the substance of water, to think about it, meditate on it, to wonder, what is it that we're really thirsty for? To allow a change in our thinking, to know that we're not made up of water, we are water. To remember that when we drink a simple cup of water, that's just life wanting life. That's just water being attracted to water. We will explore in a few moments just how deeply this creation myth of the Popul Vu revolves around water. But for a moment, I want us to just acknowledge that we are currently at a juncture in time where our relationship with water and the earth is very broken. We are out of covenant. Indeed, our way of life now is actually unimaginable to the people who told the Popul Vuh and the people of Mesopotamia whose stories ended up in the Torah and the Bible. They could not have conceived of the pace, the sheer productivity, the connectivity, but also the disconnection of our lives. Their stories that we are studying today were passed slowly, orally, sung, chanted, whispered, repeated for millennia as people migrated and passed over the earth. For every people who have come before us, every era, the ways we've lived for the last 100 years, 50 years, 10 years would be strange, magical, and devastating indeed. And this is a spiritual issue, the deepest kind. To be out of relationship is a grave spiritual issue. No wonder everyone is so anxious and troubled. For we have lost touch with some of the most fundamental priorities that are glaringly apparent in every single religious text that I've ever read, namely our willingness to acknowledge that we are responsible for the earth, that we can and should fall on our knees before and on the earth and cultivate that relationship, to do as we have been instructed to do in all of these great moral documents, which is to provide stewardship and protection of the land. To remember that our relationship with the earth is our primary relationship, that the umbilicus is not cut. We are still drinking earth's water, still needy, still tied. And we are here in this important moment where we are being called as a globe to discern what that oneness really is. And as a people, we are at a place where we get to choose which relationships to cultivate. Do we continue to cultivate relationships with people around the globe that are based in competition and business? Or do we turn to the global cultivation of relationships around the protection of the earth? This is indeed a time where we must lift the veil of illusion and see that our integrity discerns the trajectory of our own lives. In terms of these global relationships, what would it really look like if we were to deeply acknowledge that 80% of the Earth's natural resources are protected by Indigenous peoples? What would it look like to have the treaties upheld? How would everyone else have to adjust in order to uphold the waterways? What would it look like as a globe to see that despite the removal acts, despite the colonization and racism that keeps so many people down, that there are people in every single culture, in every single country, who are out here generously fighting for everyone, chanting, "Water is life." For life did begin in the water, let us not forget. Swimming, wiggling, struggling to ground, slipping around in the muddy coastal regions for eons. Evolution taking its slow and tedious route towards land, forms emerging, taking shape, and gaining more and more distance from the cradle of life itself, until we've evolved so far that we have lost consciousness of our own thirst and need for connection, for spiritual wellness, and for right relationship. Yes, indeed, this issue of how we relate to the water is the very center of our religious lives in some way. How we cultivate or don't cultivate this relationship is actually the very tether to reality that we must maintain in order to have any sort of theological or religious integrity, as humans or as a congregation that seeks to soothe this hurting world. Now, this is a very scary topic that I'm talking about, but I want you to remember that your worst thought is not necessarily the truth. Indeed, we can look to these creation myths to understand how new ideas and solutions emerge. Let us go to the text. In both of the stories, Genesis and the Popul Vu, new ideas just poof, emerge. In this case, it's the whole world. In Genesis, it's merely thought of, but in the Popul Vu, the gods just say the word earth, and it arose suddenly, just like a cloud, like a mist, now forming, unfolding. And then in both stories, the animals come, animals who cannot speak, animals who cannot comprehend, cannot express themselves, cannot advocate. The hollows and the gullies, the forests and the canyons and the meadows come. And then in both stories, the gods ask the question, who will watch over this? Who will protect this lake sea, the stillness of the waters, life itself? In the Popul Vu, it is said there had better be guardians. Guardians who comprehend like we do. And so in the texts, we come to the question of what we are. Now, I know you all know this. In the story of Genesis, from what are humans created? From the mud, from the earth. It's when the gods, because there is more than one in the Torah and the Bible, when the gods pick up the earth and give it breath. But in the Popul Vu, here is what happens when humans are made from mud. So then comes the building and the working with earth and mud. They made a body, but it didn't look good to them. It was just separating, just crumbling, just loosening, just softening, just disintegrating, just dissolving. Its head wouldn't turn either. Its face was just lopsided. Its face was just twisted. It couldn't look around. It talked at first, but senselessly, and it quickly dissolved in the water. For the first attempt at humans did not know how to exist with water. Quickly, the gods get together for a second attempt, and they send out an appeal to all the craftspeople, the jeweler, the sawyer, the carpenter, the plate shaper, the bowl shaper, the incense maker, and all these godly craftspeople were asked to run your hands over kernels of corn, over seeds of the coral tree. Just get it done. Just let it come out, whether we should carve and gouge a mouth, a face in wood. So it be, they replied, and they made humans from wood carvings, talking, speaking, there on the face of the earth. But there was nothing in their hearts, and nothing in their minds, no memory. They just went and walked wherever they wanted. They did not remember the heart of the sky. And so they fell. Just an experiment and just a cutout for humankind. They were talking at first, but their faces were dry. They were not yet developed in the legs and arms. They had no blood, no lymph. They had no sweat, no fat. Their complexions were dry, and their faces were crusty. They flailed their legs and arms. And so, like in the book of Genesis, the gods constructed a flood to deal with the problematic humans, and they all floated away like driftwood. And then the ones who did survive became the monkeys. Again, there is an explanation for everything. Again, the second, humans were not able to exist well with the water. And here, the Popul Vu turns away from the question of humans for 5,000 chapters. And they focus on the hero twins, the gods who engage in wars, and the plumed serpent, and all of the underworld, until so long later, perhaps they had recovered from the first 2 failed attempts, because suddenly there is this story. Fox, coyote, parakeet, raven, these 4 animals named their account yellow ears of ripe maize, white ears of ripe maize to them. This, therefore, they found the food. This, therefore, entered their flesh, people framed, people shaped. Water, therefore, is blood. Humanity it became. This came because of the ripe ears of maize. Thus they rejoiced because of its being found. Food entered with water its strength, created its arm fatness. Its yellowness, humanity it became. Then, therefore, they placed in words their framing, their shaping, our first parent, merely yellow ears of ripe maize, white ears of ripe maize, their flesh, merely food, their legs, their arms, humanity, merely miraculous power, merely spirit essence. They looked, they listened well, they walked, they grasped, excellent people. Then they were asked by the framer shaper, what is your existence? Do you sense it? And I have the same question for us. Your existence, do you sense it? As an earthly being with water in your veins, the only type of species who has the chance to comprehend the depth of our relationship with the earth. In your great wonderings about life, death, humanity, purpose, the arc of the universe, how present is your awareness that your own arm fatness is water? Sacred water. Are you aware that your awareness is water? Do you sense that the defining factor in the creation of a successful humanity is in its being able to relate well and guard what comes out of the water? To be water protectors. And are we, as a globe, emotionally and spiritually available to do the work that is needed to decolonize our own understandings of ourselves and our lifestyles so that we are able to cultivate relationships that do lead us closer to who we really are? We return at last to the little boy who is wondering so much about how we are as we die, wondering what is happening here, really. I know that what he's asking is about what are we? What am I? How come this is? He's searching to understand. And so I will tell him that for so many people on their deathbeds, the thirst for water, for life, for the primordial stillness becomes insatiable. But I'll also tell him something that might do a great deal to teach him about what we are. I'll offer him an idea of communion. Tell him that in his moments of anxiety, in the moments when he begins to wonder about the presence of this meaning-making and bizarre species that is us, when he starts to thirst for comprehension, that he might start by getting a drink of water. Blessed be, and amen. Oh.
The work of the church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. Today we don't have baskets to pass, but the service we invite you to give on your way out or send a text if you have the image. So we have a basket at each door, and we invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values.
We'd like to invite you to sing along as we remove the stigma of singing. So quietly and softly, we're going to transition from humming to singing over the next couple of weeks. So we would like to invite you to sing with us for our offertory today, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. I'll be giving you a little bit of hints since the lyrics are not up there. Gentle, angry people.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Justice seeking.
We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Young and old,
we are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
land of many,
We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
gay and straight,
We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
gentle, loving people,
We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. These we carry with us in our hearts until we are together again.
Our closing hymn today is 1074, Turn the World Around. We come from the fire, living in the fire. We come from the water, living in the water. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Whoa, so is life.
We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do we know who I am?
Do I know who you are?
See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am?
Do I know who you are?
See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Whoa, so is life, Abatiwa. So is life. Whoa, so is life, Abatiwa. So is life. Water make the river, river wash the mountain. Fire make the sunlight, turn the world around.
Heart is of the river, body is the mountain, spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the spirit, truly of the spirit, only can the spirit turn the world around. Whoa, so is life abatiwa. Ha, so is life. Whoa, so is life abatiwa. Ha, so is life. Last one. Whoa, ha, so is life abatiwa. Ha, so is life. Whoa, so is life abatiwa. Ha, so is life. Good job.
Maybe we're having so much applause because it's the only thing that we can do together. This week, I simply invite you to be hydrated and drink a lot of water. Go in peace.